I'm Jen West, professional rebel of delight.
And I'm Dave Wiesdock, sage of creative scaffolding.
And this is Shadowcasting. Good day, audience. It is quote day, and we're really excited to have you. I hope you all are doing well. Today, our quote is from Wayne Dyer. And our quote is, "Judgments prevent us from seeing the good that lies beyond appearance." I like that. I'm going to say it one more time because it's short. Judgments prevent us from seeing the good that lies beyond appearance. There's so much, it's such a short sentence, but there's so much depth to it. And I think what comes to mind for me first is an initial thought of good, bad, right, wrong. You know, that initial, you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. And there's nothing beyond that. It's a very surface level experience of people, of things, of life. We've done it the right way. We've done it the wrong way. That animal killed another animal. That's wrong. Or that's right. That's nature. And we miss the depth of life because we're sitting in this dualistic nature of what is. And we're not experiencing it. We're just judging it and making a certainty out of it and moving on. What do you think, Dave?
I think not one, not two, but three cliches came to mind for this. You know, never judge a book by its cover. Appearances can be deceiving, or past results don't indicate future performance. I went exactly where you went. This idea of judgment. When something is presented before us and we don't feel that the appearance of whatever is before us is going to have a positive result, often it's because we're in some sort of or form of judgment of whatever this thing is. And why I love this quote is because it's like, look, just because in the past that was a bad thing doesn't mean now it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you should just abandon all caution either. But what it means is that you're coming from experience and wisdom rather than just judgment. And that's really what this quote comes up for me.
Yeah, I was listening to a spiritual leader the other day, and God, what was he talking about? He was talking about an aspect, and it really fit in with this judgment idea that, it was words in spiritual language, whether it be mindfulness or if you're doing spiritual or Chinese arts, qi or cultivation or listening. All of these words have multiple meanings. And if you don't know the way that the teacher has defined it, you can self-justify. So you can hear a 10-minute talk from a teacher and they say, sync the qi, or one of those other Chinese sayings, wu wei, which is non-doing. If you have a way of looking at it in your mind, then you hear them say it and you use your definition, not their definition. So you're not learning whether you agree or disagree with this spiritual leader. You're just keeping your definitions and agreeing with yourself. You know, you're not diving in and learning, does this person mean something else? Are we on the same page? What does their definition mean and how do they move through it? And this is really what I think Wayne Dyer is getting deeply into with something like Wu Wei, this non-doing. He could have a different meaning than somebody else, than some third guy, and you could have your own meaning. And if that meaning resonates, your definition, you really love it, you think it's flow, then anytime you hear Wu Wei, you're just going to say it's flow. And those other teachers are going to have different definitions, different ways they're trying to use that term. So we're just stuck in our judgment, stuck in our definitions. We're not open.
Yeah, I really like how you looked at it from this sense of awareness. And I'm seeing it more from this sense of this you brought up Wu Wei and non-action and this ability to just be present in the moment. And I'm more thinking this judgment projecting energy that can come up when we're in this mindset of almost survival, and it's uncomfortable. It really is. It's our comfort zone is really what this quote pokes at, because usually we judge things that aren't in our comfort zone. So if it's in our comfort zone, we don't even think about its appearance because it's known, it's comfortable. And this quote is challenging us to move from our comfort zone into discomfort. Not only is that where growth and change happens, but that's where the good can happen too. And it's moving through the discomfort, not judging it and pushing it aside.
Yeah, judgment. I mean, it has its place. I use a different word instead of judgment. I use discernment. So you're just like
Oh,
learning and slowly versus judging. And there's another definition, because judge can mean discernment in certain contexts. But often we've got that right or wrong, good or bad. I'm the good guy, you're the bad guy.
oh, this is huge. Okay, so for the audience listening, I've worked with Jen for a long time and she does use discernment a lot. And now this light bulb just went off because I realized that's why I was like, oh, you use discernment. Yes, instead of is that the energy of it? It helps you move through it then? Is that
I find that discernment is learning. It's seeing
okay?
if it works for me, if it's learning the steps of what works in any given situation. Remember, I'm the adaptability person. So I'm always putting things together, tying stuff up with duct tape and baling twine. No. And there has to be discernment on when you glue something together or when you get something with the WD-40 and get it to move better. There's discernment.
Okay, so we're in the middle of our play mindset uh, art in our podcast. And one of the things we talk about with play mindset is the infinite and finite games. And this is my last thought on this quote is that if we are in the finite game, the zero sum game, there has to be winners and there has to be losers. And by extension, there has to be good and there has to be bad. There has to be a give and a take, a polarization. If we are in the infinite game, then the appearance doesn't matter because everything is an opportunity for learning. It's that parable or that quote that we talk about with the farmer, really. Are you looking at the appearance and how it affects you in the moment, or are you just open to the experience of it and to just being again in the moment?
Yeah. And that parable for everybody, you can look it up, but there's a farmer and I don't even remember the entire, but
Oh
there's
yeah.
a horse and the horses get out of their pen and the farmer's like, might be good, might be bad. And then his son, the one of the mares comes back and brings an entire herd with them. And the whole town is like, yay, you got more horses. This is really good. And he's like, it could be good, be bad. And then his son goes to break one of the wild horses and breaks his leg. And everybody's like, that's horrible. And it goes on and on and on
I
like
found
that.
it. I found it. And it's short. I could just read it and
Yeah,
you can
just read it and we will call that the podcast.
great. So there's an ancient Taoist story that I think highlights some of the nuances that Jen and I are coming at for this quote. So I'm going to read it for everyone as part of the segue into the meditation part of our quote cast. So there once lived a poor farmer who lived in a poor village, but this farmer was considered very rich and fortunate because he owned a horse. One day, his horse ran away. His neighbors came to his farm to say they were sorry for his misfortune, but the farmer said, I don't know. It could be bad. It could be good. Several days later, the horse returned with 6 strong horses. Once again, the neighbors came by, this time to congratulate him. But the farmer said, I don't know. It could be good. It could be bad. Sometime later, the farmer's son went riding on one of the wild horses, but he fell off and broke his leg and arm. Again, the neighbors came by to console the farmer, but the farmer said, I don't know. It could be good. It could be bad. A year later, a fierce war broke out between the farmers' country and the neighboring country. Many young men were drafted into the army. When the army came to draft the farmer's son, they found that he was disabled, thus exempting him from military service.
Could
And
be good, could be bad.
I was going to say the quote wasn't there in part of that, in the part that I was reading, but obviously I'm sure the farmer said that there as well.
Yeah. So this will be your challenge for the week. Your initial reaction. Can you step back from it? The good, bad, the judgment, and look deeper.
Yeah. And thanks so much for listening this week. Special announcement I just thought about. We should announce it this week. Of all weeks, why not? Make sure that you're checking us out. We are all over the social medias. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We have a link tree in our TikTok bio, and maybe we can share it here with our podcast notes. Find us wherever social media platforms you're on. We are on Apple Music now, I think, Spotify,
Pocket cast. Yep.
So wherever you're listening to, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like. We love that feedback, and it helps get our podcast out to others to help them find fulfillment and presence in their life. And share us out with your friends and your family. Drop us a comment. Let us know how you did with the challenge and the meditation this week.
Yeah. And until next time.
See ya.